Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As we have heard from Mark, technology innovation can be a powerful tool against poverty and vulnerability. I will now briefly present to you the activities of EPFL's Essential Tech Center. Our mission is to pursue technology innovation for development and humanitarian action. Our approach involves interdisciplinary research in close collaboration with local stakeholders. We rely on entrepreneurship to generate a large-scale and sustainable impact. Let me quickly walk you through two examples of such projects. The first is from the field of diagnostic X-ray imaging. Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen was the first to make an X-ray image of a human being, and it was his wife. You can see her hand here wearing a nice ring in December of 1895. We are in 2019, over a century later, and we still have 2/3 of humanity without proper access to radiology. Now, why is this a problem? X-ray imaging is truly an essential tool, for example, to diagnose trauma. There are up to 50 million victims of road traffic accidents every year. 90% of those victims live in low and middle income countries, precisely where X-ray is not available. X-ray imaging is also very important to diagnose tuberculosis, which remains a terrible killer in these contexts, as well as pneumonia, which is the leading cause of child mortality. So why is this technology not available? To put it simply, existing technologies have been designed for the context of industrialized countries. They are too expensive, too complex, and too fragile. So we thought that a new solution needed to be developed from scratch for the context of low-income countries. In order to address this challenge, an international alliance has been created with over 20 labs in Switzerland and in Africa. It involved medical doctors, engineers, designers, anthropologists, and many more. In all, over 130 people contributed to this project. The result is a 4 to 6 times more affordable, robust digital X-ray system adapted to the context of low-income countries. We've presented this prototype to the public last year. 4 patents have been filed and a complete business model has been developed, which has allowed us to create a startup company called Pristem. Pristem has since announced that it's been able to raise 14 million from Swiss and African investors. Pristem is currently industrializing the solution. My second example is from our Humanitarian Tech Hub, which is a close collaboration between EPFL and the International Committee of the Red Cross. It concerns food prosthesis. The ICRC deploys 35,000 of those prostheses every year, mainly for victims of conflicts. Its current prosthesis is low cost and robust, but it is too rigid to live a truly active life. On the other hand, dynamic prostheses available in high-income countries are way too fragile and too expensive. The project involved 4 of EPFL's labs and the ICRC orthopedic team. It allowed us to design a robust dynamic prosthesis based on carbon fibers that costs 10 times less than existing solutions. The ICRC, together with its partners from the private sector, are currently getting ready to deploy this technology. As a conclusion, when designing solutions for development and humanitarian action, we know they must be affordable and low cost, and yet they have to be economically viable and scalable. They should avoid involving consumables and generate low amounts of waste. They should be easy to use, to maintain and repair. They should consume very little energy, and if at all, it should be from renewable resources. And finally, it should be extremely robust and durable. I would argue that solutions meeting such criteria are interesting for everyone, not only for the poor and the vulnerable. Thank you for your attention.